can I give a couple of tips about
Yes,
boundary setting?
love to.
So the first place I tell any of my students or clients to start with boundary setting is to say my 7 magic words. And I'm going to tell you really quickly why they're magical. So when my daughter was in her teens and even younger, she would come to me and ask me for things. And I was a single parent. It was a big challenge at times. And I would sometimes just get caught up in the moment and say yes or no without thinking about it. And generally, when I would say yes, I wouldn't get an argument about her from her for something. But if I said no, an argument would ensue. And one day I said to her, I'd like to think about that. And she said, okay. And that was big for my daughter because my daughter is persuasive.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want you to really hear those words. They are my 7 magic words. I'd like to think about that. The reason I give them to you in that way, they're very, very specific. Please don't change them until you can think about that without thinking about it, until it comes out of your mouth without even a thought. It's not, let me think about it. It's, I'd like to think about it or think about that. And I tell my students, do that, practice it all weekend long until everybody's sick of hearing you say it.
Yeah.
And then you will get some of that in your bones. The second part of boundary setting that's really, really critical is baby steps. If you're used to being a people pleaser, you're not going to change this overnight. If you could have done it, you would have. It's plain and simple. So it is baby steps and using tools like my 7 magic words. So that's a start for people. I don't like to go too in depth with that because I want you to take baby steps.
Yes. Yeah. And it does start with baby steps because when you're so used, I mean, it's a habit, right? Like not having boundaries is a habit that you have to break, or, having the wrong boundaries is a habit you have to break. And so getting to that point, you just have to first interrupt it. And I think that's what I'd like to think about that does. It interrupts it. It doesn't make it a yes or a no, but it gives you that moment to say, okay, let me stop, really think about what my answer needs to be, what it really is, what truly feels aligned to me, so that you can go out there and have the right answer, the right response, and not just feeling the pressure of saying that.
It is exactly that, as a pattern interrupt to stop your knee-jerk automatic response. You got it exactly. And we have a lot of those. It's not just boundaries. It's not just say yes or say no.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of those. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We do. And there's a lot of habits to break. There's a lot of boundaries to create. And in doing those, it's going to make such a difference in your life. It's going to make a difference in how you feel. It's going to make a difference in your success, as you say, right?
Well, boundaries really, truly do benefit your bottom line, as I say, whatever your bottom line is. Whether it's your bottom line in business or your bottom line in your relationships, it truly is just about honoring what is most important to you, being in alignment with it, and kindly, confidently, and calmly expressing that to someone. When you are triggered, it's really hard to set a boundary. So I teach you, don't try to set a boundary when you are being triggered. Take a deep breath, calm yourself, think about what was underneath that for you that got triggered. Was it you're not being acknowledged or seen? Was it your once again frustration at not having something done the way you wanted it or the way you had agreed to it with something? It's identifying what is really underneath that trigger of anger, frustration, guilt, overwhelm, stress.
Yes.
It it triggers us to respond in ways that do not serve us, that are not just frustrating, but are just give parts of us away that don't feel good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And being able to, you know, let yourself calm down from that spot of reaction and, you know, not doing it out of obligation and things like that. And, you know, you can just be home working and loving on your cat like Julie is doing. I love this crawling all over you. Awesome.